Oh, there are many risk factors that be. So the Lancet Commission issued like a guideline statement in 2024 where they identified risk factors for dementia. So we have what we call the modifiable, the non-modifiable. So there's nothing you can do about your increasing age. The older you get, the more likely you are to develop a neurodegenerative disease, of which Alzheimer's disease is one of them. Of course, women too are more inclined to have dementia, as well as people who have certain genetic phenotypes. So we call it the ApoE epsilon 4, which is like a gene mutation in a transport protein that carries cholesterol in the blood. So if you have the mutation in that gene, and in that, it also predisposes you more to Alzheimer's disease. And it's also been linked with other there's a very small percentage, 1%, that have this link with another gene we call the presenilin 1 and presenilin 2 gene, as well as people who have Down syndrome, trisomy 21. They too have an increased risk of dementia. But what is also very, very striking is that about half of the risk factors for Alzheimer's are actually modifiable. So you can actually reduce your chances of having Alzheimer's disease by just following through about 14 identified risk factors. And they range from 1, education. So the more educated you are, and the higher your level of education, the more you're sort of like immune to dementia. And then other things like hypertension, diabetes, obesity, and high cholesterol levels have been linked to dementia, as well as even things like social isolation. So when you live a sedentary and socially isolated life where you're very lonely, you don't spend a lot of, you don't go out for social activities, those are all risk factors. Other risk factors include hearing loss. So hearing is very important for the brain in terms of cognition, and it has been found that just by putting a hearing aid on people who had some hearing challenges, you could actually help to mitigate their risk of dementia. Visual loss is another one, as well as things like air pollution. So obesity, as we mentioned, and then some other modifiable risk factors. So these were identified by the Lancet Commission, and this is actually what really we should focus on. We do have a way of modifying our risks of having dementia if we're able to tackle these modifiable risks, because there's nothing we can do about the genes we're born with or our age.